Hey, I'm Jay, pronouns he, they, heavy on the they, and this is me trying to get over this notion of perfectionism that does not exist. So beforehand, everything that's been on this channel so far has been me doing my poems I wrote for Nobody Advance as short films, which is still a thing that I want to do. But I want to be really honest in the fact that like my executive is not functioning, my AD is in HD, my off is tisming, and it's a culmination of this perfect storm of things where I'm getting very much in my head over little details and things that don't pertain to the things that I actually wanted to do, and what my actual motivations are in all of the things, right? Like, if I'm being real honest with the way my executive function is not executive functioning, I got to do laundry. I went through all of my laundry, see if I can really find my sweatshirt. That is the continuing thing. My sweatshirt and my beanie that are a continuing thing in the film because I want it to be a continuous story situation. Um, can't find them for some reason. Don't know what that's all about. And a whole bunch of just other things. I'm in the middle of trying to survive. It's a lot. And so it has been putting me off and putting me off and putting me off and putting me off from getting back to doing the filming, which means I'm not getting into my creative bed, which is stifling for me, but also not fair to everybody else who is wanting to engage with my work, right? And so, what I'm gonna do instead, why I'm here doing this video, and why y'all gonna see a whole bunch of videos of me looking exactly like this, um, me, this poster of the different forms of tea and what their caffeine contents are, we're all about to be really good best friends. I promise you. Um, is because I want to sit down and just go ahead and do a slew of these things of just me reading my poems. Like, it's okay for me to just read my poems to y'all and like not have it be a short film. I can go back to making the short films. This doesn't have to be a continuous thing. I don't have to put a pause on being over here just because it's not continuous. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of me getting out of my own way and getting out of my own head about how things should be. I'm not a continuous kind of person. I'm not like consistency is a thing that, as much as we like to think that it is this thing that is like overarchingly the same thing. Like, it should be generally understood. You have to be consistent. Da, 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 da. Everybody's consistently looks consistency looks different, especially when you're disabled. I'm disabled as hell. And so I got to be honest with myself about what I have the capacity to do, what I don't have the capacity to do. And one of the things that I don't have the capacity to do is take care of a whole bunch of other things that weren't my survival at the time. Um, and so all that got to a pause, right? But sitting here with my actual motivations and the things that I want to do, I like to make sure that people get the things that they need to the best of my ability, right? And to the best of my understanding of what they need, as well as as it has been communicated to me. I like to put my art out there. I like to talk. I like to, I like to be able to reach the people. I like to feel like if I have something to say that I need to be saying, I gotta go ahead and say it. Um, and just all the things. I like to make sure that like things that don't have to be a barrier don't have to be a barrier. So like what I really like here is the notion that even if you can't get my book, right? Like my book is available for purchase, but if you cannot get my book, I don't want that to mean that you can't access any part of it. Like, I want to be able to sit up here, talk to you, because that itself is an accessibility aid for me to like voice, give voice to the things, and not everybody is a reader, right? So I want to be able to give voice to my poems. I also think that it helps to be able to hear the poetry from the people, or the writings and the workings from the people who made the thing. Um, Word T for that, for that reminder. And like I think that it's like I feel like that cost shouldn't be like a barrier. Word to Eastman to Gwendolyn that says any cost is a barrier to somebody, right? And so I'm gonna do my best to come over here, read my poems, and hopefully put captions on here. I gotta learn how to do that. Um, and just let y'all be able to experience the poetry. At some point, I'll probably break it down and be like, this is what was coming from me as far as this piece is concerned, and da 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 da. because I do love to teach. I love to get into the symbolisms. I love to get into the things. Like that's another thing that I really really enjoy doing, and it's one of my core motivations. I love teaching. That's why I get it. Um, and so that's kind of what I want to get into. I also am trying to get over the notion in my head that like I have to have the best of everything in order to just do what I need to do. Like even with my little short films that I was doing below here, I was just recording it on my camera on a tripod that a friend got me. Word to Angel. Um, and just going from there. Like I don't have a camera. I don't have like any other like ornate setup. This is just my laptop computer, which is why its resolution is not the highest of reses or anything like that, which I kind of like. I kind of like the fact that this is me sitting up here unedited talking on this little screen moment. It feels very early YouTube. It feels very authentic to me. It feels very authentic to the way that everybody used to start out. You know, not everybody starts out with a huge old camera and a production crew and all the things like, and it don't have to be that. Like it never had to be that. And so it feels real getting back to the roots of what things are, using the things that you already have at your disposal. And so even me sitting up here saying that can be encouragement to somebody who feels like, oh, my videos aren't perfect and I don't have da 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 da. You don't. They don't have to be that. They don't have to be that. And I'm trying to get in my head, get out of my head about them needing to be that because they don't have to be that. They don't have to be that for me. They don't have to be that for you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go ahead and get free in the ways that I need to get free, in the ways that I can, um, and read my poems to help me do that and to help y'all do that for whoever it resonates for and it comes across for. Um, because that's what we're here to do. Get free in any ways that you can. So there will be another video of me just like this, looking like this, that'll be auto posted at some point. Um, of me just reading my poems. I'm just gonna read a poem and read a poem and read a poem and read a poem. Um, some days I might feel like elaborating on what the poem is. Some days I probably won't. It depends on what my spoons look like. But I'm not about to hold myself to this idea of perfection and consistency and things like that. Um, that I know I'm not. That I know that my body is not built for. That I know that my understanding of self is not built for. And I'm just going to trust that the supports and the things that I need are going to come from me just sitting up here and being authentic and doing what it is that I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So thank you to the people who are going to join me along for this ride. I am excited to actually get back talking to a screen a little bit. It's a little bit weird. I'm not going to hold you, but I like it. And I am hoping that in y'all sitting with me, rocking with me, all that jazz, um, that we could really build something special here. Because it don't have to be, it don't have to be nothing wild. It could just be what it is. We can just be, and I like that. And I like that, and I like the fact that you want to exist with me in tandem. That's really cool. So, thank you. I don't have no official sign offs, so just until next time.